Well, this is guaranteed to be a dark, murky video, but a lot of what happens in coffee happens at night. We don't really document that very well. This is Limmu Kossa Farm in Ethiopia, and the cherries coming in from around the farm at night after it's picked in the day. And those are all the bags of cherry that have already been sort of hand sorted at these sort of collection sites around the farm. And let's go see, it's going to be time to fire up the pulper soon. Let's pause and go over to see the cherry.
Per day we do 200.
Oh, 200 quintals.
200.
That's more like it, yeah.
200.
That's a 20, yeah, 200.
Yeah, so we do two. We wash two rice a day. So this was actually a morning wash.
Okay. So they had a pulper problem, and they have some cherry backed up from earlier today. Really nice. Look at all the coffee backed up.
This is the peak right now.
This is really peak.
So here, Abby's saying it's peak time. Let's go look at the pulper. This is 6:30 at the farm, Limmu Kossa. Just saw on this drying patio all the dogs and the little puppies all playing. So cute. This is too cute. Here they come. Hello. Come here. Hi. Little puppy. These are all the drying beds at Limmu Kossa Farm. It's early in the morning. Really beautiful here. It's interesting, I noticed they have tried to create like a spacer here so that the plastic isn't actually in touch with the coffee. I think that's to allow it to dry a little better. This is some very fresh, wet coffee. They use a system over here where they wash the coffee out into these beds so they don't have to carry the coffee from the tanks to the beds on screens, which takes a long time, it's a lot of labor. They use water and wash it down into the beds with plastic and then pull the plastic out so it can dry. And under that shade covering is where they hand pick the coffee. So when it's wet, then it comes out here to the beds. But There's quite a lot of stuff about this farm that's unique and different. There was a time where I didn't even know there were private farms this big, 350 hectares. But the neighbor is truly large. His name's Hyder. I visited there before. He's a very big farm in this area. Whereas, so much coffee in Ethiopia is smallholder. Farmer coffee, people with a hectare, half a hectare, 100 trees, very small. So they just turned off the motor. They were working all night long. This is our farm tour. Limmu Kossa Farm. There's Dan in the red shirt. And Daniel and Mike Mamo. Abi, who represents the farm, but he lives in Holland actually. He's from Wolega. And some harvest going on. Kind of casual, looks like they're just on their way. What's neat about this farm is that all the blocks are separated by variety, which is pretty rare. They're all improved selections from Jimma Area Coffee Research. And you can see there have some older plantings and maybe replantings where trees had issues. Like I see right over here, there's a tree. Could be CBD, coffee berry disease, or maybe some other root problems. But this one has failed, so they'll probably replant it. This was planted in Ethiopia calendar year 1992-1993, which is 7 years behind our calendar. So 98, 99, 99, 2000. And yeah, neat thing with this farm too is just the way it's kept the primary forest. They've replanted, these are some leguminous types of trees. I think that would be called gravilea in Central America. You can see the trees are managed here with pruning. This one's been pruned to rejuvenate it. So you're really having a style of farming here that's very well managed, not kind of typical smallholder farm. So this certainly is not a smallholder farm. Yeah. And as typical here, you have families sort of picking coffee together. He told me, it's interestingly, in this area, the people do not want to farm, not to come labor in the farm, because they already have their own small plots of land. So a lot of the pickers come from Kaffa, from other areas, and they come as families, and then they have housing for them here, and they seem to really take care of them. Since they're not from the area, they can't go home at night, so they have a full facility for them, which is cool. Beautiful. And again, not a bad truck either. This is non-urban beekeeping, but of a kind of commercial variety that is hopefully we'll see more of in Africa, just Ethiopia. And of course, I'm being a little bit careful because these are African bees. They get very pissed off very easily, or at least if you do piss them off, they will chase you. They will find you, they will hunt you down. And this is at Limmu Kossa Farm, so they're doing this operation. Really cool. So it's a box type, you know, what you call honey supers, and rather than growing, you know, putting the hives up in the tree in a sort of log, or they use a log or a wrapper of banana leaves, which I've never seen them harvest that honey, but I would like to, because that's bold. They told me, so they, instead of using a little bit of smoke that they puff into the hive, they light a small fire underneath. So it looks like they've harvested probably pretty recently, and they're careful not to drive out the bees with too much smoke or ruin the honey. Okay. And this family is the beekeepers here. So what I want to find out is how they harvest this. Whether I'm sure they don't have like myself at Sweet Maria's, we have honey hives. West Oakland honey. This, I would say, is a much better environment. Beautiful Limmu Kossa. I think we're like at 2,100 meters here. So how do they harvest the honey? What are they?
So we take off
You take the frames out.
10 frames, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. And then we replace another frames.
Okay.
ማሽን ወዳለበት እንወስዳለን ካጣራን በኋላ ማሩን ካጣራን በኋላ ተመልሰን ነው የምናስገባው.
And then we take the honey and then we clean it, and then we bring it back.
Okay, and where do you clean it?
የቱ ጋር ነው የምታጣራው?
Do you have a machine?
ማሽን አላችሁ እዚህ?
አይ ማሽን ታች ነው ያለው ግን እዚህ ነው ክፍላችን.
The
ያው
machine is
የጥበቃ ችግር ስላለ
Do you spin it? Do you spin it?
ታዞረዋለህ?
አዎ ሶስት አለው.
Yes, three beds we spin it, he says.
Okay.
With three.
I think that's like me. It's metal, and they spin it. Yeah.
Great.
So you say they produce a white honey, depending on season. These hives will produce white, a kind of light yellow honey, and then a dark medicinal honey.
Yes.
More, you say your mother says it's medicinal.
Medicinal, yes.
Yeah.
It's called grawa, and it's
Grawa.
Yes, it's a very bitter. It's a bitter. Actually, the tree is very bitter.
Oh.
But the honey from it has a lighter tone of that.
Oh, okay. And what did you decide the white honey comes from? What trees mainly?
From botto. Botto tree. It's a big tree.
I heard it was cordia, but maybe that's an English name, or maybe I heard wrong.
Probably. I'll look
Cordia.
it up for you. Yeah. Maybe probably the same.
It's a botto. I took a picture of it.
Botto, yeah.
Botto, okay.
Botto and the sanna is white. There is
The sanna.
The sanna.
The sanna.
Yeah, yellow one is, in Ethiopian, September,
Okay.
we have yellow flowers coming up.
Oh, okay.
That gives a lot of
Okay.
yellow
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah.
The dark.
Garawa gets you. This is a Garawa tree. Have you seen it?
Huh? Yeah.
This gives you the red honey.
Oh, okay.
The Garawa.
Grawa. For red.
Yeah, for
Okay.
red. Yeah.
Nice. And he was saying the people market coffee flower honey, which certainly. Oh, cool.
The white honey. Can't quite see that.
Phone of a phone. But coffee flower is for 5 days. I mean, there's a lot of flowers, so it's certainly going to influence the hives, but it's not really, you can't say coffee flower honey. I don't believe that will be present. But yeah, so very cool.
So glad he survived.
So this is the sorting of cherry, which is something that is great to do. Something they do here at this farm. And then they just process all the coffee, but separately, you know. So, hi. Here, look.
Hello.